So, back to the technology show. It is the technology show where we translate geek into regular speak. I'm Brett Levy and I'm your host this week. It's been a while since I've done a show. Lots of moving parts, lots of exciting tech that's coming up. Yeah, just been busy. That's how life is. That's the nice thing about not having rules. And it's my show, so I can do it when I want, how I want, if I want. Anyway, let's get the show on the road. Let's get the slides up. What have we got today? So things with a Z is a little bit different today. I'm not doing a hardware review on a new shiny toy. I've actually been playing with the toy, but I need to play it a little bit more longer to do to find out a few more things. It's going to take a bit of time. So for now, I'm actually going to do an app, which I haven't done an app for ages. Now, the app that I'm going to review today, I think I have briefly mentioned it before, but I'm going to go into a little bit more details, and it's called Voice Dash. Now, if you spend half your day typing, if you spend a quarter of your day typing emails, Slack messages, or just writing documents, you know how tedious this is, right? Voice Dash is an AI voice typing tool that basically lets you write by speaking. Now, I know you're thinking, yes, Brett, voice dictation, been around forever, blah, blah, blah. No, this is not dictation that turns your voice into a text that you then have to copy and paste and put somewhere. The other thing is most of those that I've just mentioned, A, are terrible, especially if you're using the built-in tools that barely understand simple sentences. And B, they are normally app specific. So if you're in messages, you've got to use the microphone in messages. If you're in WhatsApp, you've got to use that one, and so on and so on and so on. That's not how Voice Dash works. This is different. So it has a hotkey. If you're watching the show, you'll see I've actually put a picture up on the screen. It is there. Yeah. Sorry, my screen is like right over here today. I haven't really set my desk up nicely. Anyway, back to the show. If you're looking at the show, you'll see the function key, which is normally the bottom left on your keyboard. You literally just hold that down and you speak. So that's how you activate it. And it doesn't matter where you are. Okay. So it basically, wherever there's a little blinking cursor, so if you're in Word or if you're on email or if you're in WhatsApp, even like myself, I use all my messaging apps and WhatsApp and that on my actual Mac, same thing. Hold the button, talk. Okay. So Gmail, Notion, CRMs, the best part though is that it automatically removes your filler words and fixes your grammar on the fly as well. So if you're stumbling over your words or throwing in a bunch of ums or ahs, and I've had a few people over the years tell me, gee, Brett, you say and ah a lot on the show. Well, I'm actually talking to you now. I'm not using Voice Dash, and it's not going to fix it. But it actually cleans that all up. So it puts a finished text into your email or WhatsApp or whatever it is. Now, what really blew me away is how well it handles accents. So voice text engines usually struggle with my South African accent. I don't know if it's all South African accents. I don't know if it's because mine's a little bit hybridy after all the years of doing things in the States and living in Australia, and I don't know, but it really battles. And don't even get me started on how useless Siri is, okay? But anyway, so usually I have to put on some weird fake American twang just to get Siri to understand me. With Voice Dash, it just works. It picked up my cadence, it picked up my pronunciation, and it doesn't miss a beat. So it's also got this offline mode. If you, like, let's say you're on a flight or you're just not connected for whatever reason, you can still dictate the document and you're not paying for airline Wi-Fi or downloading roaming data. So you don't have to actually be connected to use it. And the reason I'm saying that is things like Siri do require a connection. There are other voice typing apps that require a connection. Yeah, no additional data charges if you are running around doing stuff or you have a low data plan. Privacy wise, they claim that nothing is stored on their servers after processing, which is kind of what you want when dealing with sensitive business data. I am just going to put a caveat in there. One of the features, which I'm going to get to now, you can, well, I'll save till I'll get to that. Okay, so, well, I'll get to it now. I've mentioned it. So if I'm speaking a discussion with someone, which like if and it does, sorry, if I'm speaking to Voice Dash, I'll throw myself off my own trail. If I'm speaking to Voice Dash and for some reason it doesn't appear where it's supposed to, you can actually go into the Voice Dash app. In fact, I've got a little thing up here on the screen. If you're watching as well, you'll see it. I've blocked out the conversations for obvious reasons, but there's even a little copy tab. So it does record like the last 10 or 5. I can't remember. I've only used it a couple of times, 5 or 10 conversations that you have. So for some reason it doesn't paste it into the app. There's a little copy sign, you copy it and you paste it. I have used other voice apps before where that feature's not there, and there's nothing worse than dictating for 5 minutes and then crickets. So this was very cool. But the reason I actually put this screen into the presentation, if you're watching the show as opposed to just listening, you can see along the top under settings, there's the number of words that I've dictated since I've used the app, the projected writing speed that I currently have, and then the time saved, which mine is nearly 28 hours. Now it says money saved. If you put your hourly rate into that, it would calculate how much money you've actually saved. When I look at that number, it's a bit of a gobsmack, especially when you think about how cheap it is to pay for the service. So on that note, cost a few bucks. I have got a scroll going up along there. If you go to bit.ly/voice-tech, it'll take you straight through to the site as well. You can get a free trial. In fact, I think there's an always free version, but it limits you to 1,000 words. Now, just to put that into perspective, I've been using this for about 3 months, I think, maybe 2, I don't know, 2-3 months. It says that I've dictated nearly 28,000 words. So if you're getting 1,000 words free, I think that's per week, you're going to be out of words pretty quickly if you use it the way I do. But anyway, it's not expensive. I think it's like $7 or $8 per month for the tool. So anyway, the other thing that it has, which is very cool, is a dictionary and snippet feature. So in the dictionary, you can actually add words. So especially like slang words, and also I can get it to replace words. So for example, when using words that sound a certain way, but are spelt another way, I'll give you a good example. South Africans say howzit, which is spelled HOWZIT. If you use Voice Dash, it will actually put the word how '(s) it. So how is it with a question mark. All right. That's not what how's it mean. How's it actually means hello. So I've gone into the dictionary and I've used the replace function, and I've said when I say how's it, put how's it, which it does. Even spelling of names. So my son Cade, you can spell Cade with a K or you can spell Cade with a C. For some reason, when I say Cade, it always defaults to the C. So I've now told it when I say Cade, replace it with a K. So that's really cool as well. So from an editing point of view, now that's the dictionary. Now snippets, this is where the magic really happens. The only thing is you have to kind of remember, you kind of have to remember the snippets. So snippets are pre-written insertable lines or words or phrases. So often I request, for example, people that if I'm sending an email or a LinkedIn and saying, hey, let's find a time to meet, right? Instead of me manually typing out or copying and pasting my meeting link every single time, so like if you have a Calendly link or something like that, when I'm talking, I'll use this as an example. I'll say, please choose a time, insert meeting link snippet. And then what will happen is it will say, please choose a time. And here is my meeting link, puts the link, please choose a time and date that works for you or something like that, whatever the line is. So that's pretty cool. I just have to remember that I have to say insert meeting link snippet. And then I've got different ways I finish off emails. I've got different forms that I use. So I just go here, please find attached insert red oxygen form or the technology host form or something like that. So it's very cool. And then I did mention that it works across all the programs on my Mac. Yes, PC too. But there's also an Apple and an Android app as well. So you can actually continue to use it on your phone. So here's an example. While driving, I can use Voice Dash to tell Claude to vibe code and build a web app for me. Boom. So on an hour's drive, I can actually build a website, and I've done it. So yeah, using voice far more powerful than trying to type. I don't agree with that typing speed that I had. It's just bugging me. But anyway, I think I'm faster than that. But yeah, it does take a little bit of getting used to, because you kind of want to almost think and speak, and then as if you were dictating. And it does record every single thing like a dictation. So you've got to program yourself to just pause, carry on your thoughts, and then carry on talking. As long as you're holding down that button, it'll carry on. You can let go of the button, start again, it will carry on. So yeah, very cool. Voice Dash. As I said, I've got the link up scrolling there, or bit.ly/voice dash TECH, or lowercase. Go and check it out. As I said, there's a free version. You got nothing to lose. Yeah, what we got next? Tech news. Okay. So this past week was Google I/O 2026. So Google and Apple always have these big development conferences. I think the Apple one is next. Oh no, we've had the Apple one. I don't know. They always run about the same time. It's always like not necessarily hardware centric. It's more about what's coming out in the software world. And it was massive. So Google is really pushing the boundaries when it comes to the AI. And it kind of makes you realize how far behind some of the other players are. So first up, they unveiled Gemini 3.5 Flash, which is their new lightning fast AI model. It's designed for complex tasks and coding. So it's quite cool. And I just mentioned like using Voice Dash and Claude and that for coding. Now you could probably just use Google and Gemini, same type of thing. So I could speak. In fact, with Gemini, you've got Gemini voice as well. So that'll be interesting. I'll have to try that next as well and see if I can vibe code using, what is their one called? I think Google's is called Anti-Gravity, if I'm not mistaken, is their vibe coding platform. Anyway, they also did show off some hardware. There's a pair of smart glasses coming up. It's going to be on Android XR. And I think the partner mentioned was Samsung and Gentle Monster. I don't know Gentle Monster. I actually forgot to look them up before the show. I will make a note of looking up Gentle Monster. But look, I'm a huge fan of wearable tech. I always have been. I've done a lot of wearable tech reviews. So definitely going to keep an eye on that space. Wearables, glasses. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Mark Zuckerberg. So Meta, so yeah, we've got Google doing all cool stuff and giving us cool stuff, and then we've got this puppet. They've just announced that they updated their terms of service to basically state that they will use all of your public posts across Facebook and Instagram to train their new AI models. Now, we've known that they use all of our posts, but now they're starting to train the AI models using our stuff as well. So again, if you want to turn off these functions in privacy, which is always hard, it's literally like 15 hidden menus just to opt out if you want to do it. So most people just give up halfway. I've given up a long time ago. I've just accepted the fact that I am the product, and I give me to get what they get. But if you are data and privacy centric, apparently there are quite a few steps you can go to opt out of this. But like as I said, Google's building AI agents that can actually manage workflows and build stuff and prepare for client meetings. Meta is just trying to figure out how to scrape every last bit of our personal data to get more ads targeted at things that we've already bought or probably aren't even relevant to us. It's always like with them, it's an after the fact response. They just Anyway, moving happy along. For those of you that don't know Vivid, so Vivid's an annual festival in Sydney here in Australia, and there's lights and music installations and activations like all the way through the city. You walk down like some little side alleys and there's a light or some art's been put up with. It's very cool. It's kind of the city's way of trying to get you to go out in winter. Now, bearing in mind Australia winters are not as brutal as some of the northern hemisphere winters, people still don't like going out in the cold. So the city puts it on. They spend a lot of money on it. There's some really, really good stuff out there. And for the last few years, there's been light shows, like fireworks type shows, but using drones, right? And it's been a very cool experience. But yesterday or the day before, about 89 of the 1,000 drones literally fell out of the sky into the water. It's always done over the bridge. So they had some technical issue, and now they've had to postpone the show for the next few nights. It's not a problem. Like, Vivid goes on for nearly a month, if I'm not mistaken. So unless you were only there for the specific period of time or 2 days, then yes, you're going to miss the drone show. But look, it's really spectacular to watch. It's just scary, though, to think that these devices are being controlled by a few people, 1-2 operators, I don't know. And then it's just possible that 89 of them randomly go offline and drop out of the sky. Now imagine, and why I'm saying it, like, imagine if there was payloads, right? Whether payloads as in war or payloads as in delivery, and they're flying to their destination, and en route, they just drop out of the sky. Anyway, that was a nice segue into my last of my stories on tech news. DJI has officially announced the new Mavic 4 Pro drone. Now, if you're watching the screen, and if not, just go and Google it. This camera head that it has up front looks super serious. It's got this. That's basically its main feature. It's this new omnidirectional obstacle avoidance system that uses AI to map environments in real time. So what this means, I mean, besides obviously taking very cool pictures, you can effectively fly through a dense forest at high speed, and it will dodge branches completely on its own. So it's got this incredible piece of engineering, and yeah, the camera's been enhanced. It's just, I'd love to get my hands on one to test it out. So at DJI, let's talk. Speaking of AI, I'm going to switch the order of the shows around a bit. And I'm going to go into AI Captain because I want to get back to the Google I/O show. So in AI Captain, AI Captain, I want to talk a little bit about Gemini Omni model, which is the big model that they announced at Google I/O. So groundbreaking multimodal AI. The Omni Flash is designed to generate and edit cinematic quality content by blending text, audio, images, video inputs. So it's quite a big leap forward in how AI understands our world. You can basically generate any output from any input, starting with video creation. So you can speak to it, show it a picture, add a video, whatever, and it will build an entire video sequence based on what it sees and hears. So they're rolling this out on the Gemini app, and I think YouTube Create soon. I don't know if there's an official date to it. If there was, I would have put it up. So it's one of those, you'll see it pop up when it's there. But these tools that we have now are just bananas. You see what I did there, right? Bananas. If I have to explain it, it's not funny, but I'm hoping all my geek friends got what I did there. Anyway, I'm just loving the whole Google AI experience right now. The new Gemini app has been refreshed. It's just, yeah, it's just like super cool. I think Google's doing AI right at the moment, especially if you use Workspace, which I do. Your documents inside Drive are automatically accessible. Your calendar is accessible. Gmail is accessible. So when you start doing agentic delivery and building agents that can help you do things, it already has all the information that it needs. It's working inside its ecosystem. I don't think Google will be too happy about me using the word ecosystem because there's another naughty fruit out there that's kept us inside an ecosystem for many years. But anyway, I'm loving what Google's doing. I often get asked, and I should probably do a show on it someday about the different AI engines, ChatGPT versus Gemini versus Claude versus Grok, etc. The simple answer is, whether I do it or not, the simple answer is they are purpose-built. It's no different to any other tool. And this is where a lot of people get AI wrong. AI is a tool. That's all it is. It doesn't do anything unless it's told to do it or utilized. It's no different to a screwdriver. You need the right screwdriver for the right job. You can have a flathead screwdriver, and if you have a star screw, you are not going to be able to undo it. Well, maybe you can because it will fit in one of the crosses. Flip the scenario. You've got a flathead screw, and you've got a star head screwdriver. You're not going to get the screw undone. So you need to choose the right tool for the job. Google, or Gemini rather, sorry, has its weaknesses. There's things it doesn't do well, and there's things it does incredibly well. So yeah, maybe I do need to put a show together which does a comparison, and we can do that almost as a Q&A even. But yeah, for now, that's I Captain. As I said, if you and I have mentioned this before, and I know Alex mentions this as well. Hello, Alex, on his shows and on his articles. Google, Apple, Samsung, all these companies put out these keynotes that are really, really awesome. And if you are listening to my show and all other shows, clearly you like tech. They're an hour and a half to 2 hours. It's really worth watching. Go to YouTube, just type in Google I/O. I'll see if I can find it and put in the show notes afterwards. It's about an hour and a half. It's just super cool. Like, you can geek out. It's awesome. Anyway, let's move on to Are You Game. Now, on Are You Game, I did something a little bit different this time. So I know it's a technology show, but a really good friend of mine and a fan of the show, hey Nadal, sent me an awesome game, and that he and some of his mates have developed here in Australia. And I thought, you know what, why not? So it's a physical card game. It's called The Cemetery, and it really is fun. So you can check it out at thecemeterygame.com. I think there's different ways of spelling cemetery. I'm not sure. Or maybe I just don't know how to spell, but in case, the website is thecemeterygame.com, but cemetery is Cemetry. For some reason, I thought there was an A in cemetery. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But anyway, that's how you spell it. Now, in the cemetery, you actually play as an undertaker, and the goal is to collect the most valuable corpses, bury them, and then basically sabotage your mates from doing exactly the same thing. So it's a very strategic card game. It's for 2 to 4 players. Takes about 30 minutes to play. It was so good that Cade and I actually played 3 rounds. So I won the first one. He was like, okay, we're going to go best out of 3. He won the second, and I let him win, and I took the third one. But yeah, it's probably the most time either of us have ever spent awake and not on a device. So I have put a couple of screenshots up if you're watching of like what the cards. There's actually 2 versions of the game, the original and the Pet Cemetery. It's exactly the same game, but the graphics and little animations on the cards are different. One is pet themed and one is just zombie themed. You can actually combine the packs as well. So you can actually mix them up and play a bigger set of cards. I wonder if you could have more players then, because then you could double the cards. So maybe it could be like 4 to 8 players. I don't know. Go for it. Why not? Because you got double the volume of cards. Anyway, someone else can answer that question. I don't know. I've only got the 1 pack. But it's a great mix of strategy. There is luck. Artwork, super fun, dark, morbid. You do have to deal with some zombie chaos. You have to dig up graves and steal their bodies. Yeah, it could actually make a very good digital game. Nadal, we need to make a digital version of this as well. Very competitive, absolute chaos, but in the best possible way. If you are looking at doing something a bit different, maybe having a games night, if you like tabletop games, slightly twisted humor, this was really, really super fun. I do want to put one thing out there. I did battle with the instructions a bit, and I told Nadal this. I found an awesome YouTube video that shows you the gameplay as well. So if you do buy the game, and please buy the game, support the indies, go and look for the YouTube video as well, and actually they show you the game playing, and it just makes it a little bit clearer than trying to read the instructions. Because there's quite a few different things that happen in the game, and that's what I'm saying. When you watch it in video, they do it in a sequence for you as well. That just makes a lot more sense. Or maybe I'm just dumb and I couldn't figure it out. I don't know. But the cemetery at thecemeterygame.com. As I said, go and support some indie game developers. Something different, super fun. Would you play it more than once? Definitely. I said we played 3 games in a row just on the same night. So yeah. Where are we now? Q&A. Okay, so let's have a look here for Q&A. What have I got that comes up? Okay, cool. So, hey Brett, I always hear different things about charging my phone. Should I let my battery drain down all the way to 0 before I plug it in? Now, I've actually just gone through a battery issue, so that's why I'm going to go with this one. So first of all, This is one of those tech myths that just refuses to die. And I've discussed this a few times, but I think it's the kind of thing that keeps coming up for a reason. So I'm going to keep answering it for a reason. So basically, this is the cockroach of the tech world. Okay. Let me try and clear this up for you. No, absolutely no, never, no, ever, no, 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 should you let your phone die completely before charging it. In the old days, we had nickel cadmium batteries. We haven't had nickel cadmium batteries in phones or tablets for forever. Like, I don't think any of the young generation today even know what nickel cadmium is. In fact, some of the old little recharge batteries, the little AAAs that you get, might still be nickel cadmium. But other than that, everything is lithium ion. Nickel cadmium had memory effect. And if you didn't drain them completely, then they would forget their own capacity and you would have issues. Modern phones, modern tablets, modern everything uses lithium ion. They don't actually want to be drained to zero. In fact, they hate being drained to zero. And they also hate being constantly at 100% either. That's the flip side. A lot of people leave their phones permanently plugged in, like they're sitting at home and it's on their desk or on a wireless charger. I have mine on one. It's on a wireless charger. But I've actually set my settings that my phone never charges past 80%. So don't let it go to zero. Don't let it go to 100, or don't keep it at 100 the whole time. The sweet spot is actually between 20 and 80%. I mentioned 80% on my phone. I don't know how to do it on an Android phone, but an iPhone, you just go to battery, and I'm assuming it's the same in an Android. And you just swivel it to 80. So if you're leaving it plugged in at your desk or you're topping it up in your car, you don't have to leave it stressed in at overnight. Like if you charge overnight and you do charge to 100%, most modern phones will know that you sleep and actually reduce their current. But if you're leaving it plugged in a car or at your desk and it's not using a smart charger, and it's daytime and you're not necessarily sleeping, it might keep that 100% charged the whole time, which, as I said, it's not great for it. So yeah, don't do it. It's not something you should do. And then I don't have any other comments or anything like that. So that will take us to the end of Q&A. Hopefully that helped. There's some stuff popping up in the background as I move. Cool. So that's the end of the show. Until next week, keep your screens clean and your knobs shiny.